Hey guys, welcome back to Dude We Can Fix It. Today I'm going to show you how to install a sink in your shop or other outdoor area and a custom workbench. So I'll show you what we have first. See, we just have this plywood workbench. I've shoved everything down to that side to make some room here. And this is where I want to put a sink. So I've cut out this area here. It's about 18 inches this way and 27.5 that way. And then over here, I had to cut out a little bit more for the faucet plumbing and whatnot. I'll show you the sink. And I have this conduit here that I was using to run my internet through. And I also went ahead and ran a PEX line through here to supply my water. So I still am going to have to come off of this, and I'm just going to have cold, so I'm going to come off of here with 2 valves for the hot and cold side on the faucet, and then I'm going to have to drill through the wall and run a drain line as well. How do you come up with the measurements for cutting the hole for the sink? I'll show you. So here's our sink. This portion here is what needs to go into the hole. So you look at this and you say, that's about 17 inches, right? What you can do, this actually has some nice little lines. You find where the curve on this stops, and you add maybe a 1/4 inch. And go to there, and then to here, 17.5 inches. So that will be the depth of my sink. And then on the other side, we'll do the same thing. Now this sink has plenty of overlaps, so has a really large lip on it. So I could come off 1 inch, 1/2 inch, 1.5 inches. But I like to have as much meat as possible for the sink to distribute its weight onto. So on this one, 27.5, because that'll clear the lower portion of the sink and give it the maximum amount of lip to rest on. Now, once I set that in there, it fit in real nice, but there was still plywood underneath all of this. So I had to measure this out and cut a section of the plywood out for this to all fit in. See, there's a good bit of play here and here, but my side to side is very snug. I could have done a better job and not cut out quite as much forward to back, but I still have plenty of room for my lip, and this is a very secure sink. So I'm going to take this out and wash it up, and then I'm going to primer the workbench surface. Now that the sink fits, I want to go ahead and get this entire area here. You see, it's all just untreated plywood. And with the sink in there, I'm going to be washing parts, and I'm sure I'm going to be splashing water everywhere. What I want to do is make this waterproof. There's a lot of different ways you can go about it. Maybe like a polyurethane or just a wood seal or something like that. I'm also going to be probably doing some hammering and scraping parts and stuff. So I want it to have a very durable finish. I'm going to be using this Rust-Oleum farm and implement paint. It's what I use on my tractor, my dump truck, all my heavy equipment. This is just the primer here. I'm going to paint from this seam here all the way to the corner, and I'm probably going to come up about 1.5 feet, maybe 2 foot on the walls. And then I'm going to let that dry for 24 hours. And if I like it, I'll go ahead and install the sink, or I may end up putting a color top coat on top of that. So we'll see. All right, so I'm very pleased with the way that the gray primer came out. I put 2 coats on, and this will actually be my top coat for the time being. So now we're going to move forward with installing the sink. Ta-da! Our next piece that we have is the sink strainer. Got this one here, about 10 bucks from Home Depot, and it has the spring-loaded straining basket. Pretty nice. We're going to install this. We'll take all this off for now, along with our lock nut. This is our bottom cup, fiber washer, and our rubber gasket. It'll be put on back in that order. First thing, this will drop down through the top of the sink. Normally you will put some plumber's putty around here. I don't have any, so I'm just going to use some silicone. That should be plenty. Just make sure your sealing surface is nice and clean. Just take this and pop it down in there, squish it in. See all that silicone's kind of come around the edges a little bit. It's clear, so it's not very noticeable. Now in the correct order, we have a rubber gasket, fiber gasket, our bottom cup. Sometimes this is just a big lock ring. We'll put all this on, and then we have our large lock ring. I will use a pair of needle nose pliers to hold this strainer basket in one place while I tighten up this bottom lock nut with some channel locks. Alright, now we're nice and tight. Now we're ready to install our drain kit. This is just gonna go elbow off the bottom of the sink and go straight out the wall. We have our downspout peel. We'll take our teed washer there, set that in. Put our nut under the bottom, like such. And this will screw on to here. Once again, I'm going to tighten this up a little bit. Start with our lock washer, our beveled edge facing down, and then line this up, tighten down our lock washer. As you tighten this down, it compresses that washer and makes a pretty good seal that will also hold the pipe in place. There we go. That's our drain. We're not going to be running a P-trap on this because it's just going to go straight out the wall. Now we're going to set our sink and our drain into the cavity here. At this point, I'll go ahead and clean up the silicone bead right here. Wipe off as much of the excess as I can. Alright, so now I'm down here. What I need to do is go ahead and mark and cut my hole for the sink drain. There we go, that's my hole that I need to cut. So I actually don't like where this hole lands out on the metal exterior siding, so I'm going to move it a little bit closer to the conduit. Looks like I'll need a longer drill bit so I can run my pilot hole and then finish this cut from the outside. So our hole has been bored. Let's see if we can get our pipe through there. Well, my hole's a little too low, so I'm gonna have to go get a slightly longer downspout section. So yeah, so next we'll go ahead and set up our PEX. Alright, so I'm just going to come out with a T and then a 1/2 inch valve on each side, which goes to a 3/8 compression, which will mate up to the faucet. Don't mind my red tubing here, it's just what I have available. I'm going to be running this single cold PEX line coming in. I'm going to split it to feed both sides of the sink. If you don't do that and you turn it on hot and cold, you could have some water back feeding through the hot side and end up on your shelf and stuff. So it's best to at least do something with both sides, if just a plug. I'm going to cut a couple short lengths of this. So it looks like I'll add about 1.25 inches to the tailpiece. So we can see that all this mates up well. Okay, so we have marked the outline of where our sink is gonna go. Now we will apply a thick bead of silicone to seal the sink to the tabletop. Now we can reinstall our drain. Now I'm ready to install the faucet. First we're going to silicone the base of this 3-hole cover. We'll set this into place. Now we will run our faucet down through the center hole. Now we use Glacier Bay's fast lock system. This you just push up on the threads, then once it catches you tighten it clockwise by hand. Now we'll smooth out the silicone around the base. Now we will attach the quick connect. So on this pipe here, there's a spot with a tag that says weight here. So that's where we're going to attach the weight. So we use this clip. Secure it onto the hose at that location, and then we'll slide the weight down onto it. Just like that. Cool. Now we'll attach our hot and cold water lines. Once again, this is just one cold teed off in both directions, so it doesn't matter which side this is connected to. And we'll tighten these up with a wrench. Do not over tighten these. Now we have our sink fully hooked up, ready to go. We're gonna go turn the water valve on and see how it does. Wow, everything looks nice and dry. Water. And it's got 2 different stages. Pulls out and retracts. Pull the stopper out and we'll see how our drain works. Awesome. Alright, so that's how you install a sink in your shop, in your house, or anywhere else. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like our content, please subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching, and as always, dude, we can fix it.